These are the 7 things every TPA needs before designing a 401k plan that actually fits your business. If you are a financial advisor, this list will help you be prepared the next time you start a plan for your client.
Number one, there's a bit to it, right, Christopher?
Yeah, right.
Owner demographics.
Right.
Are all owners the same, Christopher?
Oh, absolutely not.
Are
No.
any owners the same?
Are you and I the same? No. Okay.
Well.
What are we looking for with owner demographics, dear?
What their age is, their W-2 compensation, or K-1 if
Or
partnership.
Schedule C, right? Yeah.
Ownership percentage.
Right.
And why does it matter,
Because
Christopher?
this drives the contribution limit calculations. It triggers catch-up as super catch-up and HPI eligibility. It also has a huge impact on testing ratios. Plan design is very different if we have one owner or 2 owners, or if the owners are younger than all the staff, or if the owners are 63. And we need to know how owners are related to each other.
if there's more than one.
And an overlooked owner can actually blow up a plan design. Now, we've had plans designed around one owner, and where a child who was 21 and a half that we did not know was a child of the owner because they had a different last name, wasn't disclosed until, actual real testing time. Yeah, it blew up the design because we were not made aware of all the owners and the owners' spouses and children and parents.
And the blowing up is just that the document was already done.
Yeah.
You went through the whole year. When you get to testing, there's just not the same solutions.
Right. So
it's in concrete by the time
we
you get
need
there.
all this stuff ahead of time.
Right.
Moving on, I think, to number 2.
So, Christopher, an employee census.
Right. Full head count.
Everybody.
Okay. Ages, compensation, hours worked, at least whether or not they're working more than 500 and less than 1,000, or more than 1,000, because the definition of full time per year. Thank you very much, dear. Right, per year. Yeah, sorry, not a day, because the definition in ERISA land for full time is over 1,000 hours. Now then, why does this matter, Catherine?
Well, because it determines eligibility.
Right.
It affects non-discrimination testing.
Oh, yes, it does.
And it drives employer contribution cost.
Right, exactly. A plan
Finding a lot of hidden employees when you finally have to make your contribution is
these are not
less
made up,
than ideal.
These are not made up stories. These are true. A plan with 3 employees looks very different from one with 30, even at the same contribution rate. All right.
It's multipliers.
We need to know about all of them. All right. We'll let you know who we don't need to include. Also, that part-time employee count is going to matter again when we get to item number 5.
New rules.
New rules. Oh, there's always new rules. Okay.
Business entity and ownership structure. So it does matter how you're set up. If you're an S Corp, a C Corp, an LLC, a partnership, or a sole proprietor.
Correct. Now, this matters because it affects compensation definitions. Now, once upon a time, we were more concerned about the difference between S and C Corp owners because there was a participant loan rule or something like that, which I can't even remember. But I do remember once upon a time it was different. But now we need to know if somebody's is getting W-2, or if they're a member or a partner or the sole proprietor. This does affect how we calculate net earned income. It determines who must be covered, at least in testing, and it does have an impact on the deductibility rules. Now then, family attribution rules do apply. We're worried about spouses, children, and parents with ownership stakes. We're not worried about in-laws or brother or siblings, okay, or cousins or nephews, but we need one generation up, one generation out, and hopefully only one spouse. Current spouse.
Current spouse.
All right.
Just keep your beneficiary forms filled out right.
Exactly. We cannot, well, we should not. We really cannot finalize a plan design without knowing the entity. It's not just paperwork, it has a huge impact on the math for the employer contribution calculation.
The owner's actual goal.
Right.
So, the most important question, and the one that's most often forgotten. So, what is the goal? Maximize the owner contributions, minimize the employer cost, retain key employees, match a competitor's benefit. There's a lot of different things.
Right. So, to turn it down into two, is this an owner benefit plan or an employee benefit plan? Okay.
Well, where's the thumb on the scale, right?
Right. Why this matters, this drives every design decision. Are we going to want safe harbor, or is a traditional match just going to satisfy your needs? What's the likelihood that there's going to be a profit sharing allocation to maximize the owners, or is there no possibility of that? What kind of vesting schedule are we going to worry about? All of these things have an impact based on what the goal of the plan is. And when we know what that goal is at the beginning, we can design towards it. But when we find out at the end, we may have to redesign, and that redesign may not come into effect until the third plan year. Because we're just going to leave it at that. All right.
But I want to say this is part of the reason to have an independent TPA work on this, because all of these
have a conversation with
and
us.
have a conversation, because all of
Talk to
these
us.
plans written by big fintech, where it seems to be the same document no matter what. This is where the rubber hits the road, basically, right?
The pen hits the paper.
So
yes.
if you get a plan that's designed to really benefit just the employer, and that's not what you wanted, then that is not good. And if it goes the other way, it's bad to find that out at testing.
To number 5.
Prior or current plan
Right.
history. Right. If there was a plan, man, before, you want to know.
Exactly. If it's an existing plan, it'd be great to get the prior year Form 5500. That's publicly available. Testing results. Have they been passing? What are the testing problems have been? Is the current plan a simple? Remember, mid-year conversions are now allowed. Is there or was there a SEP? Now then, we will have to wait until next year if they've made a contribution for 2026 for the SEP. Remember, making a contribution in 2026 for the 2025 plan year for a SEP is fine, all right? But not if they made it for 2026. Now then, all of this matters because what kind of plan they have or whether or not they've had one is going to help us or guide us in certain directions is prior testing failures, top-heavy status, vesting schedules, loan balances, and any other protected benefits. All of this carries forward.
A common mistake is when advisors start a takeover plan without requesting prior records, and it creates some real gaps.
Right. We need the plan. What would be very, very helpful for everybody involved. Obviously, we want plans to come to us, but for wherever the plans are going to, the financial advisor needs to understand that if this is a takeover plan and they're going to be changing all the vendors, they need to let the client know that certain compliance records are going to be needed by whoever is the successor compliance company, the successor TPA. Now then, so the longer you wait to let the client know about that, the harder it makes it on everybody. All right. Now then, also, part-time employees may already be eligible based on prior service. All right. Was somebody a full-time employee in the past? Maybe they're only a part-time employee now. Also, we have to talk about long-term part-time employees. We need to know about them. They may be required to be allowed to make a deferral contribution.
So once again, report all the employees that
Yes.
have worked for you. We
Yes.
will help you figure that out.
So this is why we need to know if you've ever sponsored or terminated a plan. There's a little bit of paperwork. If we're going to be looking at a cash balance plan, it's going to have some impacts on that. It does have a carry-on effect. Let us know about it, or let your TPA know about it.
So hang on, there are still more things to
still more
come.
to go.
So the payroll setup. Oh my God, is this important?
Oh,
so
please, yes.
who runs the payroll? What the system is used? The frequency. Is it weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, monthly? And why does this matter?
Well,
you can say it.
It affects loans. It affects everything, and it's not just the frequency. It affects. We need to know how many payroll locations you have. Okay, all right? This affects deferral timing rules. All right, impacts contribution processing, and determines integration capabilities. If somebody is on a desktop payroll system that will remain nameless, there is I'm sure there's more than one, okay? If it's a desktop payroll system, there's no integration. We have a recent brand new client who's doing everything in payroll by paper check, handwritten. Put your eyes back in, Filippo. Handwritten checks. Okay?
You know how expensive paper checks are these days?
6 of them. Okay, 6 people or 7. All right. There's no integration there. Okay, so there's a lot of things that can't happen with the modern record keeper, with our compliance systems, with our data gathering, etc. Also, when it comes to how the payroll is set up, we need to make sure that the payroll system is set up correctly in terms of the plan document when it's doing calculations. Is the payroll using the correct definition of compensation? All right. Now then, we have seen plans run for years with the wrong compensation definition when we've done our takeover work. It shows up when we're doing our work, the first year we're doing our work, or at audit. Okay.
And boy, you don't want it to show up at audit, right?
You want us telling you about it, nobody else.
Under the theory of fix it before the IRS finds it.
Now then, number 7, the employer's contribution budget. What can the employer actually afford on an annual basis?
Hey, and this is one of the things I learned. When you have a good TPA, they can help you go, is there a budget and how much do you actually want to do, versus just going, hey, we're going to do 3% and see what happens.
Right. We do like budgets.
3% and see how many employees you really can have.
Okay. What this matters, this is going to drive the safe harbor decision, okay, what the match formula is going to be, profit sharing structure, okay. We need to know, is having the plan be set up to be top heavy, if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Okay? Because remember, you don't fail top heavy. Top heavy is something we very often purposefully design towards, because that means an owner has the vast majority of the plan's assets and they're generally happy, okay? Unless you have hundreds and hundreds of employees you haven't told us about. All right, now then, so safe harbor sounds great because it takes care of ADP testing until you realize the employer must fund it regardless of whether or not they're profitable. All right.
Yeah, wow, isn't that a crazy thing? You have a bad year and you still have to make the contribution.
Yeah, we're talking to somebody about that. The employer contribution budget opens the door to discretionary versus fixed contributions, some kind of tiered profit sharing. Maybe if future cash balance layering, maybe you're not getting enough of a bang from your 401k buck and you need to look over at a cash balance plan. Cash balance plans are actuarially way more complex, do require an enrolled actuary, but can have some amazing contribution designs inside of them. Now then, when you, as a financial professional, walk into a discovery call with these 7 questions answered, your friendly neighborhood retirement plan consultant can design a plan in hours, not weeks, and it's going to fit what the client's looking forward to.
Hey, it always looks good, like you're a real good professional when you've got your act together on the front end, right?
So the full list, a quick recap: owner demographics, employee census, business entity and ownership structure, owner's actual goal for the plan, prior plan history, if there is one, payroll setup, and employer contribution budget. So get these 7 before anyone starts designing anything. Now, if you would like to learn more, and we hope you do, especially if you're a financial professional or a CPA, we have a monthly webinar that goes deeper into the compliance of 401k plans and occasionally cash balance plans. Now then, if this was useful, our podcast and other channels are linked below as well. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends and neighbors about us, comment,
How
etc.
would they email you, Christopher?
They would email our lovely sales team at sales@hunterbenefits.com if your question is too personal to post on YouTube. All right? Thank you very much. What? I don't know. Keep those cards and letters coming. I didn't know I'd get a giggle out of that. It's a win. Cheerio.